Hello everyone! Blender 5.2 is probably the most significant upgrade since the switch to Grease Pencil 3.0. Among 16 improvements, this release introduces an entirely new fill-in system, reimagined and faster materials, and over 20 new free brushes. Before we start, let me tell you about my new free course to make a low poly 2D face to wrap around your 3D characters. Use the playlist in the description to watch it or save it for later. And if you like my Blender themes, you can get one for free or a 6 themes pack for a small fee. Find the download link in the description. Deselect Linked was a missing feature from Grease Pencil 2.0. It is used to deselect any stroke that has all its points selected. To deselect Linked, use the hotkey Shift+L. The Move to Layer menu in Edit mode to move selected strokes to a different layer, keyboard shortcut M, now shows layer groups as menus and submenus of layers, matching the layer tree structure. A new Fill Strokes option has been added to the line art modifier, allowing generated strokes to have a fill. This addition follows the Blender 5.1 update, which moved fills from a material setting to an attribute of the strokes themselves. You can now choose the curve type you want to draw with from the stroke menu under post-processing. In addition to the usual poly type, you can choose between Catmull-Rom, Bézier or NURBS. You can also adjust the threshold. A lower threshold means more points and better fidelity, and vice versa. Note that under the hood you're technically still drawing poly curves, then Blender converts them on the fly to the type you choose. New icons were added for stroke, fill and both modes in the toolbar in Draw mode and Vertex Paint mode. Draw mode previously used text buttons and Vertex Paint mode used a drop-down list. And speaking of Vertex Paint mode, blend modes were added to the paint brush, matching the existing modes used with meshes. The improvement to materials and brushes in Blender 5.2 can't be overstated, and covering everything would make this highlight video far too long. So here's what's new with materials and brushes, and for a full walkthrough of the updated workflow, watch the full tutorial on this channel. New placement settings for line materials using dots or squares were added, allowing materials to generate dots or squares at render time, which is many times faster than subdividing strokes and relying on points for dots placement as we used to do. There are 3 placement modes: Count, which resembles the old method, Density, and Radius. Dot and square type materials now have their own randomization settings. They allow the randomization of size, opacity, and color of the rendered dots or squares. The bundled Grease Pencil brushes have been updated with new thumbnails and to use the new material settings for dot type strokes. The settings for the airbrush, ink pen rough, and pencil soft brushes have also been updated. 23 free textured Grease Pencil brushes have also been added to the new Online Essentials asset library. How to download and use them is covered in the full materials and brushes tutorial on this channel. Since Grease Pencil was created, fills have suffered from major limitations, but the Delaunay Solver is now the new default fill algorithm. This is another big upgrade in Blender 5.2, and it's covered fully in a separate tutorial on this channel. In short, unlike the old pixel-based system, the Delaunay Solver generates exact geometry from surrounding strokes. It is zoom-independent, automatically detects gaps, and runs much faster than the previous algorithm. The SVG importer now has a scene units toggle. Turn it on and your imported SVG will scale to match your scene's measurement system. You can find these settings in the Scene tab under Units. The PDF and SVG exporters now support all 3 corner types: round, flat, and sharp. Note that uniform width must be enabled for this to work properly, and unlike Grease Pencil, the SVG format only supports 1 corner type per stroke or curve. Lastly, Blender 5.2 has a couple of additions to the Python API. That's Blender's scripting interface that lets you write custom add-ons, automate tasks, and extend the software's functionality. Palestine and now Lebanon are still suffering. The least we can do is speak up and pray. Thanks for watching, see you in another video, and as always, peace.
I'm far from the only one experiencing this, but it was very much like overnight. I was cancelled. I kept being invited to events when people were like, oh yeah, you can come and talk about things, but don't talk about politics, don't wear a keffiyeh. What do you think activists are doing? Like, how can Palestine be political but climate not be political? Like, what kind of cognitive cartwheel is that?